The Death Trap and How to Avoid. It's a 2018 article by Wes Pennar. Wes Pennar is a Swedish guy. In the Wes Pennar, in fact, he used it to make some binaural for healing. In the past, in 2003, I guess, he had a channel about healing, and I often subscribe to his video. In 2012, 2013, around this time. So wrote about what normally happens after a person dies and leaves his or her third-dimensional human body. I argued that the afterlife is just another aspect of the frequency prison in which we are contained. The afterlife, I wrote, is just an intermediary station where souls can rest until they are recycled reincarnation into a new life on earth. I don't believe this anymore. What I believe is that we are living the life of another, but they still don't know about that. But we are living the life of another. What I mean by that is that it's not reincarnation. You see, it's something else. What you call about reincarnation is what your ancestors have lived, and that is imbued inside of you, because we are all patched up in the other side before we are incarnated, not reincarnated. I came to this conclusion: we are incarnated with the patches of our ancestors, so we carry what they call all their how to say it, we call you carry with eyes all of their customs, their character, or their predispositions, you see. And for some they will say even karma, but we are not to be blamed for the karma of another. This is a big error. It doesn't have to exist, okay? No such thing. But some would say that we carry the karma of our ancestors because we have patch of them in us, imbued in us. But there's no such thing as a reincarnation. It's not true. We die, finish. Our mission is finished. We go back to source. If after that you want to return, yeah, we're gonna be in. We're not gonna be we're gonna be incarnated. Okay, take up another body, another mission, etc. Another constellation, but not necessarily incarnate. Not anymore. So I'll suggest what you could do to avoid this afterlife trap and break out of the frequency prison in which we are trapped as if we were criminals when we didn't commit any crime in the first place. Of course, now didn't commit any crime, any karma, any sins. That's nonsense. That's religion hologram that produces all that. These are nonsense. Because of the importance of this information, I'm writing this article in effort to summarize these concepts and to make it more available in one place. As a spiritual beings, we are seduced and manipulated into entering these physical and dense vessels that we are calling human bodies a very long time ago. No, that's okay. We are not being manipulated or seduced. This makes part of the game. However, what differs here is the nature of things, how the matrix is created, that need to be renovated, need to reformed, need to be renovated, need to be recreated, okay? But the incarnation process is a must. It makes part of the go and come and go, come and go. And by default, We were supposed to come and then go on to place, come and then go into place. And a death were never ever um, supposed to be so painful as it is right now, as we are having here. Unless you die in your sleep, then you're gonna have a peaceful death. Or maybe when you are euthanized, then you have a peaceful death. But dying by a virus and then you want to breathe and cannot is quite a painful, agonizing one. Unless you are intubated, you are in coma. Okay, you die in an accident is a very terrible blow to your brains, to your organs. In one go, your soul come out instantly, and then you still feel, because the nerve is still attached, the fibers of the nerve is still attached to the causal body, or the soul, as you call the spirit. So you're gonna feel pain. You're gonna be only one pain, depend if you don't die instantly is one pain. Oh, if you die instantly is one pain. If you die slow, is a very agonizing death. So what I'm trying to say is, it was never supposed to be this way. Nobody, nothing was supposed to die a very miserable death like that. Okay? So once you locked in this frequency, we got stuck in a hologram created by extraterrestrial group, which most people currently call the Anunnaki. Anunnaki is not humans, and some believe to be some misformed people who sees them as a human. They are not human, although they do carry the gene codes of all species and this quadrant of the universe. And they are composed of grays, dracos, reptilian, etc. Okay, they are composed of all those beings, and they are not humans like many informer believes. These people are misformed. They don't know. They think they know. They charge you money. They want a money for their work. They offer a podcast or whatever for money. Just run away. They don't know. They think they know, but they know. There's many how to say, many information out there now about aliens. I have been in this path since 2012. So, but in 2009 now, to 99, I already knew many things. To 99, my awakening started in 99, and before that, I was paving the way to find out more and more what I have forgotten. So the third dimension is above, which no, which must be currently called the Anunnaki, by whom I call the alien Invader Force, or the Overlords. In this article, this ET group is controlled by being a scientist Sumerian test called En.ki. En.ki is an entity, is the black dragon, who's called from the Luciferian group. His group is Luciferian, is his family. He is also the entity behind the Lucifer archetype. This hologram consists of everything we call perceive with our five senses, and therefore includes the entire known universe. En.ki is the Anunnaki. He was one of the Anunnaki. His family is Saturnines from Saturn, the King Anu, and he didn't go along with his stepmother. His mom is a slave, black slave, and he maybe he's a hybrid. Who knows? He's from the Namlu people from Africa. He's hybrid. Okay, he's a hybrid, but he's not like physical like us. He has power because he's a Anunnaki. He has power to create mimicry and transform himself. He's not solid like us, but he's a hybrid. I guess he's a hybrid. It would be correct to say that everything. So En.ki is also in non-spirit archetype. This hologram consists of everything we can perceive by five senses, and therefore including the entire known universe. It would be correct to say that everything that is made of atoms is part of the hologram, which are distortion, and is only a small part of what would be considered the real universe. It's estimated that we currently only use a few percent of our brain capacity. We also only use a few percent of our DNA's connectivity to creation, and that we can only perceive about 4% of the entire universe. In fact, even these 4% are compromised because they are overlapped by a hologram, which is a partial copy of a partially real universe. So everything is a replica, made in China replica. This copy or hologram is presented to humans as a entire universe of its own, which with planets, stars, nebulae, and galaxy clusters. We call clusters to simplify. It's very convincing. In addition to a concept of the third dimension 3D, the CT manipulators have also constructed the astral plane, which consists of a number of different dimensions and densities of its own. However, like here, more than here, it's not true, it's not 100% real. It is mostly partly is visual reality, okay, created by a program, a mind thought. So it's on a visual reality or software program similar to what was presented to us in this matrix. Or also in the matrix move and in this matrix. The universe is the universe we cannot experience while living this hologram. The only hint of its existence is what we call dark energy and dark matter, which together consists of about 96% of the universe. The other 4% is the hologram in which we are currently trapped. Dark energy and dark matter is where the black goo is taken. I don't think that we go back there, we come from there. That's nonsense. It's not true. That's not true. This is like a black hole, am I right? The dark energy and dark matter is a black hole. And we don't think we go there. If we go there, you have to go to another universe. That is a gateway to another multiverses, okay? So which together consists of about 96% of the universe. The other 4% is a hologram in which we are currently trapped. I have been, after I have a near-death experience while I was 8-year-old, I have been to another place, but it was not this dark hole, whatever. It was a place just like the firmament, just like the sky, but it was very, very illuminated by stars and it was very beautiful and a partly grayish blue. And there's a pyramid over there made of marble, a pinky beige color, very beautiful marble in a pyramid. And I saw that a man was climbing, and as this man climbed up, each step that he gave, he let go one shadow, he let go one part of himself, one layer. For each step that he gave, one layer, one shed. Each step that he gave to that pyramid, to the top, one shed was layered, or one shed, one layer, one shed. Okay, it was never, as they say here, black mud. This is another thing, man. This is another thing, which consists of about 96% of the universe. The purpose of the organ to a current trap, and it's not true that the universe is empty, but it is crowded with something that we don't see. It's not true that it's empty. Another lie. If this whole, or not say lie, is just a mistake or ignorance, If this hologram were to disappear, we would once again be able to perceive the 100% universe, just as we did before we were trapped. It has been all the time, although we currently only perceive it as dark space. No, it's nonsense. A dark space what? I see there a bluish sky, grayish, very beautiful. And there is being over there walking like a zombie in a float, not walking float because over there we float. This can be a very confusing matter in each section of its own, but I will do my best to explain how I'm using these different concepts in my writing. I'll start off with the divine feminine and take it from there. This is how I see it. Spirit, soul, mind, and body. The divine feminine is my temple, what others call God of everything. That's for you. Source, source, the goddess, all there is. I'm convinced that the universe is feminine in nature. And therefore, okay, it's feminine in nature, but doesn't mean that one woman create everything. That's not true. One feminine create all this one body, feminine body. No, it's not true. And neither one is a masculine, especially so a masculine body. This one was created, this mythology was created by this very reptilian being, because En.ki fight with his stepmother, and she asked him to be banished from her court in Orion. She every time tried to banish him. Take this boy away. She wants a bad stepmother. Bad stepmother. So take this boy away, and then they invent. You see that they have invented in the fable Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. They asked him to be sent away. Every time he found a way to return. Whenever she asked the worker to take him away, he will return. One time he come back as a king of sorts, something like that. And he said that he want to talk to the queen. The queen now didn't recognize him because he had grown up. And he said, Queen, Your Majesty, I came here to help you in your kingdom. She said, from what? From the devil. Which devil? There's a devil around. And you as a woman, a feminine, as a females, cannot fight this devil. You're gonna need a brute force of a masculine energy to fight this devil and protect your. So she fall into it and leave everything for their own accord for them to manage. Understand? So all these changes didn't occur overnight, but it was a step by step in frequency through the years. Men took over that empire, and a woman was just a mere object for them. Understand? It was opposite before in the Orion Empire, but now the men took over, and En.ki have fabricated, created this plan to take over Orion Empire. Okay, and now if this came the mythology of create gods of wars, fearsome god who cannot tolerate uh, no disobedience, no mistake from their devotees, and who would protect the goddess. You understand? From there start this mythology from En.ki and his stepmother from Orion. And along the way, I think they figured it out, but by now he already have created a lot of clusters of planet, not create, have invaded all the planets and manipulate everything and infiltrate his DNA within the plants, the rocks, the beings, the entities that were there in that planet and the surface of that planet. So not necessarily she's the thought, she's not seeing something and see simultaneously. She just is, she needs to step down a level in order to become a separate individual in any universe. And when she's there, she starts creating with her consciousness. If she is like this, then she's omnipresent and omniscient. And so they distorted the all and say, oh, it's a male god with a penis. You see how the physical spices has been distorted to create a masculine empire in universe. How everything was distorted. But I don't believe that it's not true. To me, I feel that um, we are all part of the universe, multiverse, the three verse, and that we come from the nature of all this, from the quarks, from the atoms, neutrons, etc. And this one that they are talking about is just self-made goddess from the reptilian lineage. That's my thought about this. Because the reptilian beings, they love their queen. They die and kill for her. They are just like those, how to say, that, uh, those male beasts, the worker beasts that fight, kills, and die for the queen. It's like that. They have mighty hive minds, and I have felt and read in the past that they even make sacrifice for her. They make sacrifice for her. Even humans, a little baby sacrifice. Even the menstrual blood also is given to her. Okay, as a sign of sacredness, all that the woman menstrual blood, which has a lot of nutrients and power, is offered to her. And there's many other things that not told yet. So the divine feminine is the goddess whether she was all knowing, therefore she wanted to create situation of not knowing in order to experience herself from different perspectives, dimensions, densities, viewpoints. Therefore, she devoted herself to the first creation. It was not that, dude. It was all fairy tale, invented fairy tale. Actually, these beings knew that they exist, just like we know that we exist from our parents, and just they knew that they have power, technological power, and they have decided to create one matrix whereby they are seen as a god and goddess. And there comes this divine virgin birthing, a divine virgin birth, which was the creation of the universe. If the universe have its own characteristic, thus she created a seed of universe as explained in the template, creating the car void of nothingness. This was the first creation. Now she needs part of herself that we are reacting individually, independently. So the goddess could learn and experience more about herself and thus expand. What they mean here? That's why most people must break all this, must be intelligent and wise enough to understand all this and not go into religion nonsense, mumble jumble. I'm gonna give a metaphor. It's just like you come to a place, a large place, okay, a continent, let's say a continent, then you say, hey, I'm gonna make a city, I'm gonna make a very big metropolis here. And then you start to build, you get your people, your man, woman, and start to build. Okay, then you form a city, and from the city becomes a state, from the state become a country. Okay, so this is a metaphor on how she came to the earth and other planets. It's like say, go forth and multiply, or go forth and find place for the queen. This queen want a head, and I want a man, whatever. Then they go around. They take their spacecraft, their Ferrari, and oh, Earth, let's invade the Earth. The queen will be very happy. Let's invade the Earth for the queen. So they come, they invade, they stay, they build their matrix. If instruction and bring in their people. They say, okay, in order for us to control from within, let's bring our people and incarnate here. So they bring their own people, the hybrids, and incarnate. They will And then with that they will control the economy, religions, system of religion, economy, politics, and science. So that explains it. That explains how they build their matrix. But did they build the sky? Did they build the classes of universe, nebulae, whatever? Did they build the planets? No, a big fat no, no, no way. It was already there, created by the multiverse creation and the nature. Who the heck they think they are? Huh? That we are not. It's all a lie. There's limit for lies. They didn't create. They only come to create what, only come to how to say drug. I hate when I forget things. They just come and they expand that place. They develop the place, like I say, okay, here there's nothing, let's cut everything, cut the all the forest, and then they start to build their metropolis and their big cities. Okay, because they have power to do this. So they build seat, make commerce, all this, and they go, oh, this is my place, this is my country, this is my land, this is my planet, this is my universe. Do you understand or not? Do you follow what happened? And now because, oh, alakazam, alakabum, eu vou fazer agora I'm gonna make a new planet. No, it didn't happen this way. It was never this way that how it was created. Okay, they can even design, okay, I'm gonna make a template, a design, I want this seed to be like this, like this, like this. Just the way how humans here does, their minions does, no difference. Make a plan, architectural plan, the architect make a plan and then you build. What's so difficult? But the land, the atoms, all that molecules, they was already there when they first came. It belongs to the multiverse, doesn't belong to them. They don't have the right to come and explode and waste. Okay? Now I say it. I like when I get angry because I have to tell the truth, and I hate stupidity and I hate lies. The goddess second creation, yeah, nonsense. What they did is hijack. What I call the spirit is the second creation of the divine feminine. Into this template we call universes. She then sent out the spirits or extension of herself. Or let's say she bang, and then she have multiple children. And then she say, okay, let's put them to suffer another place because we're gonna explore that place. We're gonna invade that place, that planet, and I put them in there because we don't want to take part. We are too afraid to take part in that planet because we know it's not very easy to live in that planet. So send them there, send them. Okay, send my children there. I give birth, I send. You understand? And not that she make a spirit and all this, and then she has the power to make a spirit, this and that. It's not because she have babies, she have sex. And therefore this spirit can't be anything but herself and always connected to her. You could picture this and be the goddess suddenly sent out extended the arm where arms were doing its own thing. I don't think you are same. You don't need to talk about the religions people, you are the same. I don't want to know the oversouls are those who contribute with sperm, with DNA, to make and contribute with womb in sperm to create another being. But I believe that they come here already, they mix their DNA with our DNA. That's what happened. They find already people here. We were the earthlings. Our ancestral war, and our ancestors were very powerful, and they try to destroy that original templates of the humans, the primordial humans. And what they did, they contribute with their womb and their sperm. Thus, the divine feminine decide to explore multi-mission herself, so she creates different universe of car, where the basic template for this universe were created. She went out to state of herself, part of her spiritual body, and told this spirit of her soul to go out and create. Nonsense. This spirit were free to create whatever they wanted, but certain rules applied. The oversouls here are their darling children, entendeu? Who went around, explore, looking for trouble, looking for wars, and look for entities in that planet to govern. Understand? The most important role in our spiritual universe is the law of free will. It basically means that all spirits have the right to go out and explore and create whatever. They are applying this to them. They are justifying doing exactly this. Coming and live and explore and invade. This is what they are trying to explain. But all spirits are responsible for their creation, and the experience are reported back to the divine. For what? Because the divine feminine is the same, the reptilian queen is the same, their darling mom. You think that she going to reprimand and punish them? No way. She gonna give them a medal. Oh, good baby, nah? Good son, good daughter, good granddaughter, good work you did there for that the that fools over there, so she can learn from her own experiences via this smaller fraction of herself. Since the smaller fraction of herself was only Dracos who came here to make trouble. In order for the spirit to operate in the different universes, they needed to split themselves into smaller fractions and forms of energy. Because the universes are operating through energy, thus fire composites fire, soul is spirit, soul, same thing as the fire, were created from extensions of spirit. The fire souls can be pictured as the fingers of the extended arm spirit. It's the finger who can feel and perceive the environment and thus creating it. In the physical body, in this analogy, the nervous system sends signal back to the arm spirit and further back to the brain, the divine feminine. The spirit then becomes the oversoul for her many fractions of soul plane that spread across the universe in which the spirit operates. Those more and more spirit from more and more spirits extends from the oversoul and spread themselves. Why don't you make this simple? So her children have children, and then they scatter around, and they spread and spread and spread. And the fire souls here means the aliens, the demons, aliens. They were made of fire. Even in the through the Al Quran and the Islamic beliefs, they believe that the jinns were made by fire. In the Oriental Oriental tale culture or mythology, they believe that we were made by the earth, the woods, the water, and the fire, because our ancestors contain all that. Okay, we are hybrids. So the water composed, our body is composed of water, fire, which helps in the enzymes and digestive system, and then we have the wood could work as a bone, okay, the bones, and the earth which makes up our muscles, our mass, etc. So the still become the soul for many fractions of the soul spring is close to the constant path which the spirit operates. This more and more splinter from more spirit exchange from the soul is spread themselves. Use your grandchildren. They are the truth and her kid, her darling kids. I like to demystify all. I'm here to demystify, take out the cat out of the bag and the bed out of the cage. Okay? Let's take everybody out of the cage and the bag. Enough of metaphor. Let's go straight to the point. Tell it as it is. Earlier on I have made the video, I didn't think properly. Now I'm start to think properly and I break all this up. Each fire soul consists of a fire composite, which is a myriad of small spirit fragments grouped together into one individual composite. With these fires, the individual can then form an avatar about to operate in across the universe. Usually, a fire composite is created from stardust. Therefore, fire and the fire composites are usually created in soul groups. Those star races and star beings. Stars are inhabited depending on which dimension we are addressing. Stars are mean different things depending on dimension. They talk about the aliens. The stars themselves are sentient beings. This souls group star is made up of energy or fire, often take the same shape when it comes to avatars, which is similar to the way all humans look alike. And therefore, so we have the avatar, which is the human template. Okay, they most of the time they are in their original form, which is that the what they call that fog, that whitish fog, like a ghost, but it's not a ghost, it's an alien, and it's either fire. Okay, when you fight with them, if you banish them away, they will burst into fire, and disappear. They are a fire. Okay, and my sisters also have seen this has been in Brazil. They have a name for them, is the mãe de ouro, que quer dizer a golden mother, mãe de ouro, golden mother. My sisters had to see this woman in the 60s in our backyard, our yard. I no, in the 50s, 60s. I was not born yet. I was a baby that time. And my older sisters had to see them in the backyard. They will come, and first they will come as a torch of light, big. My sister would say big, and she would stay there on top of the tree in the backyard. Later on, that thing will form a figure of a woman, and will come down in a land on the earth, on the floor below, and I stay like this, and how to say, she prostrated herself. No, like not sitting down, but stay in a form like she want to pass motion, like when pass motion on the floor like this. Okay, but of course she don't want pass motion. Of course, I'm just saying how the way this spirit positioned themselves. My sister was already fed up of seeing them. My sister was in there. She said she was in 6, another one was 7-year old, 6 and 7, and they like to appear before children because children is very innocent. Okay, and I will not harm them in any way. And neither can they be harmed. It's just that they don't want the adults to see them. So we see different kinds of being car, depending on which soul group or star race that they belong to, and the energy signature they transmit, although each fire composite also has her own signature. I see, I understand several species. So let's make this simple. Let's not go about the bush and make it very difficult and pour pills to confuse. Each fire composite can shapeshift by remodeling her fire composite into different shapes and forms if needed and wanted. This is what we call shapeshift. This is what they do to confuse you, to cheat on you. So also when you are dying, they come with your mother, your father, even at home. And you say, hey, I saw a ghost. No, it wasn't a ghost. It was an alien, okay? No such thing as a ghost. And they can come as your mother, the face of your sister, whatever. They can camouflage and shapeshift. The fire, after having stepped down from the main body of spirit, creates her own mind consistency from learning experiences. However, the difference between the mind of the original fire composites in the car and the soul mind consistency we human currently possess in the physical universe is that the former remembers what she has learned, because there is no real death in the spiritual universe, with an exception that I will explain below. They sometimes can kill one another spirit if laser. They can do. They have now this technology to kill soul. At this point, the law of no interference was created. This law means that no one outside of a newborn soul group is allowed to interfere with the soul group evolution in a learning process while a particular star race is evolving to a similar level as another star race. Then interaction can take place. So what they mean is that no aliens can interfere with another people. Okay, that means they cannot come here interfere with us, because it's a law for them. It's a law of evolution and a law of free will. Within the law of free will and evolution, they are not allowed to come in and help us. Okay, but they did this already. It was allowed. That's the irony of all this. They did this, and Ki did this. He regress us. In fact, he did not evolve, but he regressed the species in here. But they can interfere in case if it is for their own sake. Like if there is somebody here who make part of their star system, yeah, they can come and interfere to help their own people. You see how racist and xenophobic they are? And after that, they blame the people here. So you see, so they can come, but with exception, in exception to the rules. Some newborn stars continue living in the star, sun, or out in space. I'm referring to space not being dark, as it is for limited perception. It's not. More about this later. It's rare that star races or star beings live on planets. Of course, they don't want to hold their asses. They don't want, because they know it's tough game, it's tough experience. It's not for the coward like they are. This is something that's quite restricted to the holographic universe we live in now. Planets are normally used for other things. Living on a planet was an experiment created by the Queen of the Stars. Well, she don't stay herself. They live in a big giant that one mother ship, and then they want us to live in a planet that they have polluted. When I say polluted, they have altered the template and the originality. Like it was not to have poison snake, and there is serpent. Oh no, it's to equilibrate the nature. Otherwise, if there's no serpent, the frogs and others will increase. No, no need, because there were to have certain equilibrium. By certain age, the frog will die. Many frogs in a row, and then the composition will go back to the soil. Okay, and a new little frogs will come, and then we replace the one dead. Okay, there would never to be this killing spree, killing things here. We killing one another. We killing animals to eat. There's never to be to exist. So it's something that's quite restricted to the holographic universe we live in now. Planets normally used for other things. Live for spirit of the divine feminine in order to explore if star being could live on a beautifully created planet and still be able to travel across the dimension with thoughts. Oh, how nice! They can fly with the thoughts. They can fly with mothership, but we cannot. We can fly only with aeroplane and with our thoughts, imagine or dreams. We can only fly through dreams, aeroplane, jets, helicopter, or dream. They can if the mind. If they think I want to be in certain place, they will be. If I speed of a thought, we don't have this technology yet, as all other star beings do. Moreover, live on a planet can sometimes be more challenging than the other ones to decide. No wonder your darling queen don't want to come with her people. And the queen wanted to find out if such beings, whom I call the Nami-Lus, the primordial spiritual womankind, could still do this and contain their level of compassion. Oh, so this Nami-Lu come from the Orion, huh? Now I know. Nami-Lu was there from Africa. Oh, so now I know, huh? No deaths was included had I been experiment that was taking place in the car. Before that, life on planet was not something star beings did in general. Of course not. I'm not even surprised. You don't want a difficulty for yourselves. You want only good. But to others, you want to give difficulties. It was a new idea. The human soul group was created specifically for this experiment. And the soul group was very dear and important to the queen. She so dear that she really screw us up here. We are so dear to her that she screw. She gave the souls freedom to create and a promise to return to the Orion Empire. I don't want. I don't even belong there. I don't want. Obviously, she's the queen. No, no one. I don't want. If no string up, maybe she will even eat the human soul. This human soul group is, of course, anti-humans. Oh, I'm not surprised. A fire composite is the car, usually split herself again and thus creates copies of herself and she goes along in order to be able to explore and create even more. I don't even want to accept that the car is where we should be. No, 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 no. We shouldn't be after death in the alien center, neither in the car, but also to protect herself in case one of the soul fragments would be annihilated in a war by a malevolent the name of it is malevolent being here on earth. We do a similar thing. Oh, a malevolent being here on earth. We do a similar thing. It's true that each individual here on earth reincarnates over and over across the line of I don't believe. But each soul of the human soul group is also split into other parts of herself, who also reincarnate again and again and have their own experience throughout what we call time. Yeah, we are split because when you go there, they take a piece to recycle, and a piece goes to the universe, and they take that only pieces and then they put for match with the others, patch it up. But those who are living in reincarnation are our ancestors. The difference between the fire splinters of the spiritual universe, the car, and soul splinters in the physical universe is that the former always know where another fire composite splinter is and what she does. They are interconnected as one being here on earth. We have death and they are interconnected as one being. Here on earth we have death and amnesia. Therefore, one spirit of oneself is not aware of another, and therefore each splitter develops differently into different personalities based on the individual experiences each splitter has. It's done this way with the purpose to create more separation. Oh, that sucks, man. And the funny thing is that after that they come to say, what? Um, soul, twin flames, or twin souls, or twin flames. Nonsense. If a war would start somewhere in the heart, and occasionally it does, and the weapons are used to destroy a fire avatar from the enemy side, this particular fire composite could be annihilated. Genocide in the sense that the fire fragments of the targeted being would be scattered and separate from each other. If this happens, these small fire fragments that made up that being cannot reunite again, and will therefore return to the main body of the divine feminine and merge with her again, becoming one with her, part of the brain in the above analogy. However, this doesn't mean that the particular individual fire composite dies and is gone forever. Each fire composite has had counterpart somewhere else in the universe, from splitting herself as described above. These splitters of the fire composite live on and out of the same individual as the one who got annihilated. This may be difficult to comprehend for many, and if this is unclear, I suggest that the reader goes through this material several times until an aha moment occurs. Yes, I got it, but this is nonsense, all this. Why does a soldier want to annihilate a fire composite if that individual lives on somewhere else? In war, it's usually a matter of conquest. or to safeguard some interests, so it's a fight over your state, constellation, star systems, or planets. Look at how inconsistent and hypocrite these people who make these bloggers. First they say that those aliens don't want us there, because we make war, because we are violent, blah blah blah. But what's this that she's depicting here, that she's showing here? What's this? Is it love? War on stars, Stars Wars now is depicted as love? I'm not an idiot to see this way. By eliminating the enemy that stands in the way of obtaining a goal, one side gains advantage over the other, and the fire composite who is annihilated loses the position she had while still being that particular composite. But it never ends, because she takes away that one and more comes. So this war never ends, because as long as there's an ego and a lot of ego balls and the teeth, then there will never end this nonsense. Understand? Which can be unfortunate. No, this is ego. It's all stupidity and ego. It's similar to when a king gets overthrown by a mob. He loses his possession and usually has a difficult time regaining it. And the heart is the same thing when a soul is, oh, it's so nice, huh, the car, I don't want to return to this car. You go and Spenar, you go, and I go Michelle Wailing, go. But I'm not going, okay? I'm not going. I rather they really explode my fire, okay? Explode my fire, but I'm not going. Destroy my fire altogether. It's the same thing when a soul is annihilated, but the difference is that the same personality lives on elsewhere in the car. This car is nonsense, and one or more spleen that are copies of each other, for lack of a better word. This is nonsense. Here on earth, we consist of the same template as in the car. I don't want to belong to this car. Example, a fire composite fire avatar, but we also have a physical body, which is most people think is very important. Regardless, the fact remains that without a physical body, we can't live on it. Of course not, but still some tries to. But of course, we know that we need this body here on earth, doesn't we? And this ego as well. The ego is necessary here for survival. Regardless of what others think or think. Religions around the world usually teach us that we are spirit or soul within a physical body. No, it's a spirit of soul outside the body. The soul and the body are separate. And when the body gets old or sick, it ceases to function. A state called death. Yeah, it was done by design by the darling Baba Black Sheep En.ki. Then, when we notice that we continue to live in the astral dimensions after body death, we think that's the soul who lives on, and that this is the soul, that this soul is the ultimate you, the personality. No, it's not. It's because the conscience is still there. They put the conscience inside that causal body. You follow? They put that causal body. Even when we die, the personality is already with the causal body within, and is with the conscience. Once the conscience is gone, you ceases to exist, because you are no more that conscience. Okay? You can become another part there that belongs to them, to this car. But I don't belong to this car. I read a car, then car. This is not so. Humans have forgotten who they are and who they are connected to. The divine feminine, nonsense lah. I'm connected to the multiverse, not to this thwart or balls, whatever. To me, a god doesn't have genitalia to begin with. A god doesn't have to have teeth, have genitalia, give birth. That's stupid. And neither a male also. He cannot have sex. This god cannot have sex. This god cannot have a ball the size of a globe. That's nonsense. They believe in a God archetype who rules the world with his principles, often with firm rules, overseeing everything and judging everything. Of course, this is your God. Is your God created by this queen, whatever, this reptilian queen of Orion, and it was created by En.ki also, and his darling stepmom and his darling sister lover called Lima. Huh? Many believe that the soul and the mind are separate. Think the mind is the brain of the physical body. No, it's not. The brain is physical. The mind is ephemeral. Is photonic light. The brain being the thinking unit. People have forgotten that they are spirit, mind, body in one basic unit. The brain is just that. Is a processor. The mind is, of course, not the brain. The brain is the control center in the body, is the processor, the computer control room, if you like. Here we store memories and experiences that we have in our physical bodies. And those experiences are then transferred to the soul, mind, fire, avatar, or light body. Not until we die and notice that the soul lives on do we understand that the soul is the thinking unit. We realize that the brain is not the thinking unit. We also realize that the soul and the mind are one and the same. Okay, but it's not the same as the conscience. That causal body is just an entity. It's just like an avatar. Okay, it's an entity per se. However, that one can die also, and that one is not what we are. So when a person dies and they detach themselves from that, detach the conscience from what they have, and it becomes what they are, that entity per se will not be complete. Okay, you just imagine a computer, CPU, and then you now have a processor. Okay, have all the other peripherals necessary to have the motherboard, all this to make everything run. But once you take the memory, then it will not be able to operate anymore. Unless they construct another type of computer, supercomputer that don't need memory. So we can shape our light bar in a way we want. Most discarnate souls shape in a way that the individual look at the like while being at his or her most desirable age in the last lifetime. We can shape our light bar in the way we want. Yeah, like my sister comes as a doll, a night CM doll. The light bar is essentially your avatar, the myriad of fire soul that makes up our avatar light body. Exactly, that's true. However, the aliens invader is controlling our avatar as well, yeah? Because they think that they also have engineered it through the chakra system and our energetic electromagnetic field, which is tied to the grid. The grid being, for the most part, built by our own human mass consciousness. I don't believe that's not true. They themselves who constructed the aliens to stop other aliens from outside to come in, and from the source here to go to the multiverse, so that they themselves will come. The Grina, what the name? The Reaper will come in and take the soul. And with that grid over there, that ley lines, they will not be able to escape. Okay? So the Reaper will come and take them away. Now, no, if there's a gap somewhere, they can escape to that gap, and they will be still able to capture that soul, but will be more difficult. But they will have more trouble, okay, than any here. But anyways, is at least it's a try. It's a try to find how it is outside here, this planet. So it's tied to the grid. The grid being for the most part built by only human. No, it's not true. Frequency band. No, it's not true. This creates a false astral body which can only function in the astral dimension, which is a part of the physical universe hologram. While stuck in the astral body, we could look at it as an overlay of the avatar light body. We cannot leave the astral dimensions and accidentally return to the car dimensions. I don't want to return to the car anyway. We'll discuss this in more details later in this article. Spirit soul mind, fire, light, but are one of the same and one basic unit. There is no separation. However, in this realm of existence C3D, believe that our real bodies are the physical bodies which are really separate from us. No, we are not also this causal body. We are not the astral body. Gonna be eliminated. Wait after 12 months. If you escape from here, if you can hide from them, okay. You cannot hide from them, then you're gonna last on 12 months time limit. For that, they will pulverize you with laser and bye bye. They'll take only what's necessary, a part, just a piece, and the rest they will pulverize, destroy. Okay, so these people still is backward in knowledge. Thus, the Overlords created the separation for the first time when they manipulated the human soul group into entering En.ki genetically manipulated solid bodies made of atoms. This is where separation comes from, and it expresses itself in dualism, opposites, yin and yang, karma and polarity, black, white, good, evil, light, dark. Hey, but wait a minute. What's so bad about this? I mean, what's bad about the human body, about a doggy, a cat, a plant, a tree? What's so bad about this anyway? What's the difference it makes from other beings who are in semi-ethereal form and still fight in the other side in a ghostly body? So saying, what's the difference? Why are you judging the human and the animal body, whatever, and then you are defending these other beings who are in the same ethereal astral bodies for? Why? What's the difference? For me, I say no difference. The only difference is that because we have more, let's say, after we come out from this body, we have more, how to say, we can have more features, okay. Our features are enhanced. We can fly, we can think in a speed of light. That's the difference, okay. But still there's a setbacks. There will be setbacks in this body. We're not gonna be free of trouble yet, unless we ask to be annihilated and our conscience be taken away from this astral body. Do you follow? So here on earth we build our personality lifetime after lifetime. I don't understand. I don't believe. Based on what we bring and what we learn in society and outside society, experiences accumulated and form our personality. This personality then separates from the physical body at death, but continues to live in a new body, in a new incarnation. Okay, it get out of the body because the body is nothing, it's just a doll, but it continues, follows up to the other side until you learn that you are not that either. And that is the quantum leap. That's the key in the quantum leap for you to get rid of this altogether. Get rid of your ghost. Get rid of this astral body for good. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. But continues to live in a new body, a new incarnation over and over. No, such thing. It don't have to be this way. We can commit suicide on the other side. Can commit suicide. No, 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 no. Many departed one, or you call ghosts, whatever, they do commit suicide also. They do commit suicide. They do commit suicide and cease to exist. Okay? This information now come right now in my mind, or being downloaded right now. They do commit suicide. The dead commit suicide. The dead commit suicide. They can stay here for a while when they see that the other side is a crap. This car is nothing but another club of cabaret. They commit suicide. There's no such thing as car because it's the best. There's no sense. The alien center also is a cabaret. The astral world also is a cabaret. We need to commit suicide and go back to where we come from, to another dimension beyond the dark matter in that hole. Alright? That's the key. This guy is giving bad information. Giving, not say bad, but wrong information. But whoever want to follow him, go ahead and follow him. I don't care. But continues to live in a new body, a new incarnation over and over. The experience from a lifetime passes over to the next. That's the guys, the woman also, the woman. Although the soul does not remember because of amnesia and implants placed in the physical body and the astral body by the aliens, all these experiences across the lines of time are stored in our files and memories, and so are the experiences of the genetic line, which is the RNA, DNA timeline of the body possessed in any given lifetime. Because of amnesia, this can become very confused to the person. Often, events from previous lives of the soul and a previous life's genetic line overlap, and unwillingly, the individual may experience unexplained pain. Oh my God! I know what this means. I really know. Trauma or even epiphanies that originate from previous lives. All this forms the personality of the particular soul splitter that you consider being eyes in this lifetime. But wait a minute. All this previous life is not just our ancestral, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we have living it here on earth. It's not true. It can be lifetime of another from another planets, okay, and not in no human's form. It could be that. And then when someone's die and find out that somebody is still here incarnated, come have done something bad to her in previous lives, they come after this person. This ever happens, they come after this person. Either they possess this person, they make their life a misery, make them drink drugs, sexual addiction, this and that. Okay, this does happens. So you must be careful, because it's very hard for us even to know that there is a spirit, a possession, that you don't know who is it, not sure who. Okay, when information download after they passed away and they find out that that person have done something to them, even within the family or friends or whatever, they come after this person. So be careful. It's very, this is a very, like, very scary even matter to know that there's a ghost after us or whatever. But when you pray for this person, you not say pray is affirmation. You just affirm to them, you are not this bad or stupid soul. Get rid of illusion, then just kill yourself. Kill, and you say take away your consciousness from this body, and they will do it. So everything says, and this ghost will stop bothering you. Okay, that's my formula how to solve things. Sometimes they will do, sometimes no. Will depend on many aspects, and the external The entities who around it put things in their mind, do it, do it, do it, or in their own personality. Okay, well, it depends, but you must keep on trying, to get rid of this thing, this spirit. The real you is all this, but so much more. Take your current personality and add infinite opportunities to that, and you have the you and the fire composite that you will operate from in the car. Sister, we are not this, are more than that. Your entire current personality remains a series of experiences, all in a simultaneous packet. No need. I want to get rid of all these layers. This is the way that I look at it. It may take some process and inner meditation to really grasp this concept and to see where it applies to you on earth. Our neural pathways are normally not yet fully connected so as to comprehend the subjective matters. But if the new learning, new neural pathways are created and dormant parts of our DNA start to light up, we evolve to a new level. It's important to realize that what you call your consciousness is not you, lies. Our astral body is not as our consciousness is we. It's all we have for the multiverse. You see, wrong information. These people work for the reptilians. The astral body is not us, at least not me. My consciousness is me. It's not you either. It's the energy signature spirit is working with through her soul, created by experiences. G fire composite that you consider being you, but it's not you. The spirit of your soul is the unit that's really you. I don't believe. The soul fire is your vehicle, which you are using in the universe after having stepped down its vibratory. The soul fire is your vehicle, which you are using the universe by have stepping down its vibratory rate to become energy, so you can create a construct called the universe. Therefore, we could call the original universe a hologram too, although it's a hologram of which we usually are aware and can freely create in, as opposed to a hologram in which we are trapped. It was created for the purpose of enslaving souls. No difference, dude, no difference. And we are more than this soul that you're talking about. We are pure consciousness. Okay? Those souls are another thing. It's ones a construct, a creation. Our fire soul consciousness is what we use to create in this or any other universe. Yeah, we use the fire constructs soul, not the consciousness, to create, but use the consciousness from the multiverse we take from it to construct, to create, experiment. However, we are not the fire soul. We just embed it in, we bring it in to combine it with the consciousness, which is all that we are. Because all of the universe consciousness, composed of consciousness, is what we use to create in this or in other universe. All nonsense. I mean, some of here is all nonsense that she's saying. The creation process is then registered in spirit and divine feminine. Divine feminine what? Our false soul conscience is what we use to create in this or any other universe. Yeah, we use this, but doesn't mean that we are fire soul. We are consciousness. Take away the fire soul, become pure consciousness, which is nothing. It's just a theory. Do you understand, Duri? The creation process then resists in the spirit and the divine. When we are trapped here in the 4% physical universe, we have very little connection with a higher self, spirit of the soul, because of the electronic obvious. And neither want to have, because I don't see myself as it. I do not relate myself to it because of the electronic obstacles that have been created as barriers between soul and spirit. It's when we are forced to live in this trap that we unite with our soul, and from there on we are always connected and very much aware of the connection. That is, when the soul is free, a constant communication between soul and spirit, we will all remain individuals, creating our own realities without, but full aware that we are all connected. Yeah, conscience, dude. Pure consciousness. Today, people who are waking up feel that their awareness and their conscience has increased. And indeed, they have. What happened is that the soul that is you and this reality is begin to break down the amnesian buried in your DNA and your soul. And you vaguely remember your past in the car and the Namilu, the part of your existence and the soul that was not manipulated. That's not me. You are living the spiritual universe with direct connection with the spirit and the, no, that's not me. Not me. In the extension, you also begin to connect with the spirit of your soul and this creates epiphanies, strange experiences, knowing and see without any substance to it in this reality. That's me, but doesn't mean that I make part of Namilu, I come from Doka, I come from Orion. That's nonsense. This one comes from our conscience, and not because we have a relation with Namilus or with Ka, with Orion. That's nonsense. Intuition, telepathy, ability, SP, psychic abilities in general, and much more. A person who experiences any of all the above is to what extent reconnect with the car. I'm not to reconnect with car because I'm not. I don't have all these abilities because of the car. I have because I have. You read from my conscience, the cosmos. Morons. My hope is that you, the reader of this article, do not be fooled and is prepared enough to be able to create an exit for yourself. This is basically the purpose of the WPP and everything I've written after that. There is certain information we all need in order to grasp what kind of reality we are living in. Once that is fairly well understood, you will be able to comprehend this article and to implement the information herein. If you are with me so far, you are most likely vibration a higher level than the limited frequency band, the color that the blah 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 blah. Thus you will have the competitive text. This reality, and since you are trying to trap these people in a way. In my opinion, there is an urgency when it comes to learning about or remembering these things. In my book, Synthetic Superintelligence and the Transmutation of Humankind, A Roadmap to Singularity, I disclose the artificial intelligence AI agenda and its first big goal, the singularity. I doubt that anyone who is reading this article wants to be part of the singularity. Not me, neither want to make part of this car nonsense. Therefore, it's eminent that we learn how to exit this frequency prison before we once again end up in the death trap. There has been much discussion about an alien invasion and the return of the gods, but it seems to me when you look at it in perspective, the alien invasion is the singularity, and that's when the gods will return. This I know a long time ago. Since 2013, I knew it already. This is just my own hypothesis. No, it's not your hypothesis, it's a common sense. But in all this, it is what makes the most sense. The alien invader control the artificial intelligence which is goal. The singularity is the alien invasion that people that predicted, and in the same breath the gods will return, short before the singularity or short after. And there's nothing fake about this invasion. There are cohorts of those people that you call Native American, the shaman. They are very in much cohort with these beings, these entities there. This is their god, their darling gods. No wonder the Maya calendar, this and that. Because they knew already, they deal with them, the En.ki. En.ki governs them and governs China in Africa. The death trap. What's really happening is like spirit government of the nothing. This guy is called as the trap. So the death trap. What usually happens when you die is that spirit guides, who are most often than not the aliens, the greys, the drakes, the reptilians, and you, and these guys call you up to where the astral we are supposed to go. Where we end up depends on our beliefs. If you're Muslim, you go to another side. Christian, go to another side. Hindus, Taoists, Buddhists go to another side, and agnostic like me go to another side. But I'm not go to no side where they want. I go where I want. What they gonna do? Kill me again? Kill. I don't care. If we believe in Jesus in heaven, we are most likely to be transported into such a frequency band, dimension, and the astral plane will mingle if you like-minded, and there might even be a God there, and Jesus might sit by his side. Yeah, it's all hologram. Welcome do theater, the circus and the theater. It's all visual reality. It's all visual reality. So your visual reality within visual realities, and we help creating this reality with our beliefs, which form the energy we transmit and receive. Therefore, someone who believes in Krishna will likely end up in a dimension within the hologram containing a Hindu belief system. The afterlife often begins with a tunnel of light through which the discarnate soul might light but travels to her destination. At the end of the tunnel, an appropriate being greets the soul. This being could be Jesus or Krishna, or simply a loved one who has passed away earlier. These beings' persons are often just projections created by the aliens to pull the soul to a certain container or astral dimension. Though AIF knows whom to project because they have the technology to scan the soul before or at that moment for memories and experiences. These memories and experiences are then used to give the soul a life review where she will re-experience the most recent lifetime in a matter of seconds or minutes, measured in Earth time. The soul is then encouraged to examine this life experience and compare the good and not so good things she did during her previous lifetime. Subsequently, she discusses with her spirit guide what she needs to improve, and the soul will then feel a certain amount of guilt for the bad things she did to herself or others, or what she neglected to do for other people while she was incarnated. All nonsense. These are all things that they themselves wouldn't do for other people. The spirit guide then suggests that the soul returns to earth to remedy these flaws in order to create balance. The spirit guide will tell the soul that the next incarnation is a good idea to experience the other side of the coin. Example, the soul was abusive to others in the previous lives. It's a good idea to become the abuser. No, this one is all within a religion hologram. It doesn't exist nowadays. They just pulverize and destroy your like bad seat. And just take a piece if they need. They will incarnate you to another place. Not reincarnate, incarnate. Okay. This one exists only in a religion hologram. It should also be mentioned that some instances that discarnate soul is recycled immediately after the recent body has expired. The soul goes through a tunnel as well, but in this case the tunnel just leads back to earth again. And sometimes it happens that, I don't know, they don't want to born, and abortion will occur before or during birth, or a stillborn will be born. Will come out, because that being will decide that they don't want to come, so they cause themselves to die, and then they go back, and then they are advising again to return, and then they will stay on the line to return. If there's a reincarnation, sometimes I don't believe it have nowadays. The adventures in the afterlife trap are fairly well described by author and researcher Dr. Michael Newton. Then self-time besides regression therapy. Perhaps this vibration frequency that's covering to Christian heaven, in Islamic heaven, in hell or elsewhere. This is between lives zone, just a temporary abode. The soul will eventually be brought into a control room or a hospital for some in the astral, and if assistance from advanced technology, the soul will be beamed back to Earth, and their memory erased. They are put in a bed that they say hospital bed, and then a thing like a helmet to be put in their place in their head, and something will be on, and then their memory will be erased, and then they will send back. At the plane, and will hover around the pregnant woman who is to become his or her mom. And at this point during the pregnancy, the soul enters the body upon which a new lifetime begins. I have this encounter with my two older son and daughter. Oh, the two youngest one, the first two no, the two, the last two one, the third and fourth child, they come to me before I had them. And my granddaughters came to me, but I don't want any more children, so she went to my daughter. This describes the death trap in a nutshell. The soul recycling process has been practiced here for millennia, and each time we enter a new body, we do this with artificially induced amnesia caused by the aliens. Thus, we more or less have to relearn what we learned in previous lives, and even though we are not allowed to remember past lives, traumas and experiences from other lifetimes and other lines of time affect us in the current incarnation because they are embedded in our soul. As a result, we often don't understand why we act and react the way we do, and why we are afraid of certain things and not of others. This makes life on Earth extremely difficult and so-called learning. I don't like all this nonsense. I don't believe all this. It must also be mentioned that it was the above assumption here could be also done by aliens persisting in your mind and a possession, and the collective thoughts that go into your mind, and you absorb all that and start to have hallucination. It must also be mentioned that a wide range of emotions was part of the human experiment in 3D. Those part of the physical universe experience here and our human's consciousness. The spirit of the soul and the soul when consciously even the car does not have the same range of emotions experienced on Earth. Yeah, of course, because they're not supposed to have. They are not empathic. They are like zombies. They don't have individuality. This range of emotion was created by the aliens invading in order to better control us. They use this emotion against us. When we really think about it, what have these strong emotions done to humanity? Done to humanity and your aliens friends there? What have it done to you all? It has more often than not led to pain and suffering, even more separation. It has led to conflict, jealousy, power struggles, and mass. Nonsense. What about the aliens? They are sent? Of course, they are not sent. Stupid people, so stupid. Doesn't make any sense. Yes, we also have the ability to love another person, another part of ourselves, and you can have physical sex. Big deal. These are the oh my gosh, but pressure things to eat fruit. But we have strong emotions, but the love we feel for each other is still to a large degree selfish love. We give but also need, in the car that is love as well, although it's on entirely different levels and conditional in a sense, but doesn't mean that beings can attack each other and let unconditional love restrain from them from acting open the assault. I don't believe there is unconditional love there. I'm so sorry. There's no such thing. Things are handled accordingly, but as a rule, as a peacefully as possible sometimes, it's not the option of a choice in a conflict or even a war could emerge. The conditional love as we see it is on the goddess and the spiritual level, where the divine feminine has a conditional love for all her creations. Tarot, she said, go out and create your whatever. No, go out and bring everything back to me and invade the places. The aliens invader tell us in the astro, if you ask it, that we need to have amnesia because time on earth is linear with a construct and it would be too overwhelming to remember everything. This is nonsense. If we remembered, we could at least have the option to do something about our problems. But those who control the system don't want us to be too clever. They keep us here so we can be their slaves in their workforce, not their equals or their superiors. The way is a setup. We don't even know the source of our problem because they often originate in our other lifetime. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's here now. On the other hand, this 3D experience instigated by En.ki and his cohorts in the EIF is a trap to begin with. So the previous discussion is basically obsolete. We need a way to break out of the prison, and personally there's a way. There's a no-atom in the spiritual universe, though is thought it's also a construct of sorts, which we are using here in the trap as well. It's a higher level of construct. And as soon as we fragment ourselves from the whole, we need to step down at least a little bit in order to be able to operate even in the spiritual universe. Therefore, the thought, which is the highest level of operation next to being one with the divine feminine, not fragmented, is what beings in the spiritual universe use to operate. From there comes imagination, intention, and manifestation. By transmitting your thoughts to other fire fragments, you can find beings who are willing to co-create with you. I don't find this. It's not true. And you can create whatever you want. Nonsense. When the creation has fulfilled its purpose, you can uncreate it also with thought. And as mentioned many times before, beings in the car travel from one point of view to another with the speed of thought. This is very difficult to put down in words out of this world. Therefore, what I wrote here is very simplified, but it's the way I become to understand it. We live in a visual reality that has become extremely complex, which means that whatever we do here, we humans have a tendency to complicate. Haven't we all heard the expression, keep it simple? That's a very good idea. Okay, keep simple your narration, your thought, your speech, because most of the time is very confused and complex for men to understand, and then I have to break down for you. It might be difficult to wrap our heads around the fact that everything made of the atom is part of the trap. The easiest way to comprehend this perhaps to compare the atomic universe, the physical universe, with our thoughts. Are our thoughts made of atoms? No. If we create our thoughts inside our head, are these thoughts made of atoms? No. Thus, if we exist in a void, is a void of atoms, and we create our thoughts and manifest these thoughts directly into the void. Are our manifestations made of atoms? No. Who knows? Who knows? However, you can also create illusions the way En.ki did. You do so by manipulating spirits in your environment. When Lucifer En.ki did this, it had not been done in such a manner before apparently. He created bars of much lower frequencies and implanted a visual reality onto them. Then, he seduced the spirit to go into there and experience it, similar to how they seduce us to go into the smartphone world today. So beware. Once in that visual reality, he closed the trap and made us believe that our physical bodies are very important and that they are separate from the spirit, soul, mind. This is how he created separation. Embedded into the physical body was also an astral body that the spirit was manipulated into using when the body expires. Thus, he has control over the spirit fragments even in the afterlife. This astral body that's not you feels loose from the separation of the body, not complete. And even though she experiences a more accelerated state of being in the astral, she thinks she needs to get back to get a new physical body to become whole again and to live out her karma, something that is also part of the manipulation. Also, the soul feels the urge to return to Earth because Earth was the planet where she originally was assigned her mission. She doesn't remember that this assignment was in the car. Nonsense, could have been here on Earth, but En.ki and his team from the car in Orion invaded here, okay? And not in the physical universe. Nonsense, are you? You also are one of those beings, entities there. To be able to create the illusion of the astral dimension, the dimension of the physical universe. En.ki create the physical universe with all its dimensions from the smallest and up. Meaning he created a mini universe of atoms that built a big universe of planets, stars and galaxies. It was all copycatted from the basic spiritual universe. Copycat made in China. And key atoms become the cornerstones of the physical universe, and advanced technologies holding these atoms in place by keeping them within a certain limited frequency band and vibrations. Just the limitation we experience, the atoms in our bodies, of course, is a counterfeit. The atom in our body vibrate within this limited frequency as well, and so we are trapped. We are led to think our conscience is trapped. Satan is a key to keeping the hologram in place in our solar system. Satan transmits certain sound frequencies that can be heard in NASA videos. It sounds very distorted and dissonation, and it is. You can only hear the sound frequencies within the band of human perception when they are slowed down. Example, within the frequency band of the trap. Indeed, the frequencies that Saturn and other planets transmit are the frequencies that help keeping the hologram intact. It's all done with advanced ET technology. It's true. Saturn is the origin, Alpha Draconis is the origin of En.ki, his family, and the others. And then they invaded the Orion after Sirius, Lyra, Earth, etc. Okay, that's the history that's not been told here in this blog. You can see and hear the slowed down sound wave of Saturn in this video. Satan's screwed up, not to say another bad words. As a side note, I can imagine a married couple. Not have to be a married couple. How about a mother who lost a baby, a son or a daughter, or lose a mother or a mommy? How about that? For example, who both are aware of the information in this article might be concerned about whether they will meet each other again in the car in case of them dies before the other, and which galaxy might be the partner duel. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, or worse. Well, putting two and two together, I presume that this is not be a problem. Now that will be a problem because each key opens their own door. Okay, each key opens their own door, or each frequency opens their own experiences in the other life. So it will be a problem. Yes, it's gonna be a problem. But eventually, can they meet eventually after much trying and try to adjust the frequencies? Yeah, they can. It's all very complicated and I hate all this. And there is this nonsense of car, we are still full potential, and if the husband dies after his spouse, he can call open the spouse in the car after she dies as well, and the two can reunite. Oh, must you unite only in car, cannot be outside car Orion. Oh, how I'm suspicious, something suspicious here. So well, all this is profound and mighty blowing, mighty boggling information. Here has been really like bombastic out of this world. Just think about it and see what really sinks with you and what you want for yourself, not what you believe, but what you want for yourself. Okay, and that's one's part one, and now I'm finished all this out of here.